I'm Ariel Grant. I'm the founder and executive director of Render Free, which is one of the 5 partners at the Center of Belonging. I was working for a predominantly white institution, doing work that I loved, but felt like it wasn't supported by the organization. And as I began to experience stress and increase adrenaline every time I'd have to go into the work environment, I began to experience these symptoms like headaches, backaches, sleep disruption, things that we feel when we are going into a board meeting and have to give a pitch, or when we're about to run a race on a track meet. And I was tempted to take it all on myself, to be the strong Black woman, to take on a little bit of that savior complex and to save the organization for the sake of people that looked like me. But that brought on so much stress and anxiety, this sense of if I'm not gonna care for people with my skin color, who will? And it wasn't sustainable. I needed to find relief. And so I would seek out these Black institutions, these coffee shops and restaurants where Black folks really operated the space, where I felt safe, I felt understood. And it was there that I began to rest and consider what I needed in order to take care of myself. Eventually, I transitioned from that organization, but as I spoke with more Black and brown women, I realized that my experience is common. So in 2019, I was sure that we needed more spaces for Black and brown women to rest and recover from the stress that we encounter when navigating predominantly white institutions. And I was approached by a gentleman who went to my church, actually, who heard a little bit about this business plan that I was cooking up. And he invited me to consider the Center of Belonging. I was familiar with Tim, and actually Ace in the City was a part of the business plan. I loved the work they were doing, but I hadn't considered this concept of sharing space with other partner organizations. And yet when Tim approached me with this idea, it made so much sense. I had gotten so clear on the what. I knew on a gut level what Render Free was and what it was all about, but the how was a little bit fuzzy. And so when I was connected with someone who understood my vision and could help me figure out how to access resources that otherwise wouldn't be available to me or other Black-owned and Black woman-owned organizations like myself, it was a no-brainer. At our year-end mark, I got an opportunity to hear directly from our founding members about what their connection to our community has meant for their lives. And I was not expecting the feedback we received. There were so many tears of gratitude, a lot of laughter, and a sense of coming home. Some of them talked about wanting and having a desire for a space, a community of other Black and brown women where they could feel belonging, wanting that their whole lives, and yet not knowing until they set foot in our space. Render Free is for community. And so it's fitting that I cannot imagine being where we are today without the community that has supported me. Having Tim and Matt and the Ace in the City family in my corner has meant a sense of security that most entrepreneurs aren't afforded, especially Black female entrepreneurs. Their support means that I get to recognize a need in the community and do something about it.